Talking to Gator today reminded me of a story. My dad was a finish carpenter. It was more important that it was finished rather than pretty. There's a guy I know that was kind of like that. Only kinda. Dad was a much better carpenter than this guy. When I asked why there was a 4-inch gap in the paneling he put around the windows in his rumpus room, he said he was using wide trim. He did too. 1x6 around the windows, doors, baseboard, and he used it for cove molding along the ceiling. Got to cover the gaps, don't you know? When he bought the materials for the job, he bought tools too. He bought a jigsaw and a hammer. The wide trim had some interesting joinery in the corners. His house, his money. Well, not really his money. It was a grant from the government. They thought if they handed out $5,000 to everyone on his street for home improvement, the good people would improve their tumble-down shacks that hadn't seen a paintbrush in 20 years. That worked so well that before it was done, they canceled the program. Not before the aforementioned gentleman had bought and sold $5,000 worth of various items from Wicks Lumber. I forgot to mention that the grant was in the form of a line of credit at a local lumberyard. I wonder how much influence the lumberyard had on that deal. The guy had called me the day he got the letter from the government with the news that he had qualified for a grant. He would buy anything I wanted, up to whatever he had left after the paneling, hammer, jigsaw, and wide trim. Then he would sell it to me for 10% under his cost. Such a deal. Not to brag, but my property taxes were at least 4 times what his were. So I'm pretty sure it was my money he was spending on that boondoggle. After that experience, we had a phrase that covered all manner of idiocy in the world and its people. Don't worry, they'll be using wide trim.